What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the airport. Welcome back to a brand new video, man. We are here. We are back. And listen, man, we're back to struggling. We're back to struggling again. 4-game losing streak officially. Just lost to Denver. Terrible loss. I mean, Denver's a really good team, but I don't think they played that well tonight. We definitely could have won that game. And yeah, man, it was really tough. We kind of just gave that game away. I guess they had control of it for most of it. After that, I thought we started off pretty well. The first quarter, the first couple of minutes, we set the tone early with our defense, but we just couldn't score the ball this whole game, and neither could they. They weren't really like hitting a bunch of shots, but they were hitting timely shots, and they were getting a lot of stops, and they shut us down tonight, man. You got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, Denver's going to be tough to beat. I don't know how anyone's going to beat them in a 7-game series. Like they are, I believe, still the favorite to win it all. That they're a crazy good team, man. Like, I have nothing but respect for them because they're not like one of these teams like the Lakers or the Warriors. Like bro, they're not on national TV like getting talked about on First Take all the time. But bro, they just come out and take care of business. I have nothing but respect for them and their coaching staff. Coming to us, it was tough. It was tough, man. I mean, there's not really much to say besides the fact that nobody really showed up besides Bam in the third quarter. Apart from that, like, it was just a tough going for everybody else. I have a lot of points I want to hit on. I have a ton of points I want to hit on. Number one, I'm gonna keep saying it until the cows come home, which is the fact that we are just way too small, man. We are too small. I know the rebounding numbers weren't like glaring tonight. I mean, we were tied in rebounds. Offensive and defensive, we were all tied. I mean, we were even tied in second chance points, so it didn't hurt us on the glass, but I'm talking about in the paint, like, and I'm talking about like when you had to get like these timely key plays, like down the stretch, when 2-3 possessions, tip ball. The Nuggets were just taller, bro. Like, Aaron Gordon was snatching the ball out of people's hands. Jokic, I believe, had 14 rebounds. I mean, Bam had 13 himself, but Jokic had 14. Gordon had 8. Michael Porter had 7. Their front line was just a lot bigger than ours. I mean, I thought the only reason the rebounding was even close tonight was because our guards rebounded better than their guards, and Thomas Bryant came off the bench and gave us 5 rebounds. But when you look at the starters, when you look at Jokic, Porter, Gordon, they combined for 29 rebounds. Our starting forwards, Jimmy, Jovic, and Bam, combined for 19. So our front line, our front court, and the starting lineup got already rebounded by 10, and it just got worse and worse because they were just taking advantage of our size, man. And this doesn't even show up on the stat sheet. Like, their size was really helpful to them because they used to just, I mean, we're not used to it. They posted up on our smaller players, kicked it out for wide open threes. Like, that's not gonna come in like a stat sheet that, oh, they did this because they took advantage of a size matchup. But when you watch the game, you can tell, like, okay, Nikola Jokic, first of all, they got in transition, forced mismatches. Nikola Jovic, Jokic was posting up against a smaller player. Against Bam, I thought Bam held his own, but against a smaller player, Nikola Jokic posting up against him, the help immediately comes, wide open 3. Like, you can't do anything about it. Or you have Aaron Gordon, taking guys, smaller guys, and off the dribble and bullying them and finishing at the rim. Like, it's not really much you can do. Even their guards, like KCP is legit 6'6". Jamal Murray is about 6'4". Like, he's a taller guard. MPJ's 6'10", 6'9", 6'10". Aaron Gordon's 6'8", 6'9". Jokic is 6'11", 7 feet. Like, they have a tall team, and we just didn't have the size to match that, man. Like, even like, you could just see it on every play. Like, I'm surprised the rebounding numbers weren't like, in favor of them, because watching the game, you could clearly tell, like, it was very apparent they were taking advantage of mismatches down low a lot to post up their guys and kick out for wide open threes every single time we helped. The over-helping is killing me every single time, and I don't know why. There was 2-3 times where Bam and Jokic are one-on-one. Shot clock was winding down, and for some reason, We sent 2-3 guys at Jokic, and all it takes for him is one sliver of daylight to make a pass to an open guy. He makes the perfect pass right in the shooting pocket of these players, and it's cash every single time. Like KCP had a couple, I think Jamal had a couple. Like it was very, very frustrating just to see like Spo. Like I understand you want to send help, and I understand you want to get the ball out of the best player's hands, but Jokic. I mean, if you guys remember the one time that we actually beat Denver, which was in the finals game 2, we allowed Jokic to go for 40, and he only had 4 assists. Like tonight, I mean, he only had 6, but it was the hockey assist that really killed us, because again, the thing about Jokic is he wants to find the open man. Like he doesn't want to, score. He only scores when he has to. So that's that whole team. Like apart from like Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, like the whole team is very pass first. So when you send 2-3 guys, like they're very adept at just getting the open man. Like he's like that team is just very, very good at finding the open player. They had more assists than us, and that was not a surprise because they were just moving the ball really well, and we were overhelping too many times. Those are like mistakes that I don't think like were like a big reason why we lost, but they definitely contributed. I do feel like offensively though, as much as I want to talk about our defense, I can't really complain about the defense. I thought the defense was very good tonight. You can't really complain, man. Jokic and Murray were both held to 26. I understand like Porter had 25, but a lot of those were some tough shots. Like I don't think we did much wrong defensively. I could nitpick at that overhelping thing, but apart from that, I thought the defense was pretty flawless tonight. Offensively, though, it's a completely different story, and you have to look at a bunch of different guys. Jimmy Butler was downright atrocious tonight. I'm not gonna lie, he was just terrible. Listen, he hasn't been good these past couple of games. He hasn't been good. Past 4 games, probably like since like the Dallas game onwards, he just hasn't been good. I think since the Detroit game was his last good game, he just hasn't been great. And I understand like there's been a discourse about him against better teams, like he hasn't been playing well. I think it's the fact that the better teams they force the mismatch to get the ball out of his hands. But I also don't like some of the lineups that Spoelstra's running him with. Like there was a lineup in the fourth quarter early. I think when we had just cut the lead, we had taken the lead actually, and then they had taken the lead back, and they had a 1-point lead going into the fourth. We ran a lineup of Patty Mills, Jaquez, Martin, Jimmy, and Thomas Bryant. That was the worst lineup that I've seen in a long time. Like for a Miami Heat team, like that lineup was so bad. I was like, bro, what are we doing? And what makes it worse is Jimmy was playing as a spot-up shooter in that lineup. I don't think I saw him touch the ball once in 2 minutes in the start of the fourth. And that's when they went on that. They took that 7-point lead where Brown and Peyton Watson were like making a bunch of like tough shots, and Peyton Watson had a couple of slips to the rim where he was able to get wide open dunks or layups, and Brown made a 3 and he hit a shot over Caleb. Like that was that period of time, and that's when you really need, like, that fourth quarter was crucial, because after that we already gave them a 6-7 point cushion, and from there they just didn't look back, and that was very critical, man. That was really, really critical. And yeah, like you can't afford to make those mistakes. It was just very frustrating just watching that lineup, man. It was extremely frustrating. Like I just didn't like to see Jimmy just not touching the ball. And whenever he got the ball, the limited amount of times that I saw him with the ball in his hands this game, he just didn't do anything with it. Like he hit a 3, okay, but like, bro, Jimmy, his shot is falling this year. His 3 is falling this year, which is really, really good. But the problem is, like, he's falling in love with the jumper. And he needs to get back to who he is, man. He needs to get back to who he is. Like, we need the old Jimmy. Like, I don't care if the 3-point shot has to be sacrificed. I will be completely fine with that. he is at his best when he's driving to the rim. I don't care what anybody says. Like, he is way ahead of a lot of players as far as driving to the paint, getting to the paint, finishing through contact, drawing fouls, getting to the free throw line. In the last 4 games, because I've been tracking this stat and I've been one of the only ones to do it. I think I might have been the first one to tweet this. Jimmy, in the last 3 games before this one, had only shot 11 free throws combined in the last 3 games. Today, he only shot 2. So in the last 4 games, Jimmy has only shot 13 free throws combined in the last 4 games, y'all. 13. For reference, the last game that we won against Detroit, Jimmy shot 12 free throws alone in that one game. Since then, he's only shot 13 free throws in the last 4. This offense needs Jimmy to get to the line. They need him to bail them out whenever the flow is not, going well, or whenever they're struggling to make their threes. You need Jimmy to just say, you know what? Just give me the ball. I'm just gonna drive to the rim and just go get fouled and get an easy point, just easy basket. Just settle the team a little bit. Like, just calm everyone down. Just get some easy points on the board. We haven't seen that in 4 games, bro. And again, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if he just wants to take more jump shots. Like, I don't know if Spo's telling him something. Like, I just don't like that at all, because Jimmy is way better when he's driving to the rim and finishing at the rim. He is a better rim finisher than he is anywhere else. He's a better free throw shooter than he is anywhere else. Like, we need him to get back to that line, bro. We need him to get back to that line. Like, that is my one, like, main criticism about Jimmy, is that, bro, we need you to go back to who you are. All this shooting threes and cornered threes and all that is fine, bro, but you are elite at getting to the line. I believe he is top 5 in the league when he wants to be at getting to the free throw line. And we just haven't seen that. Now, I will say, because I think Jimmy needs to figure that out. That has to be addressed. The fact that he's not getting to the free throw line has to be addressed. But what I will say to, like, just defend, now, I don't want to say I'm defending Jimmy, but it's very concerning to me that the past 4 games that we lost, Jimmy Butler has not had good games. And I don't think that's a coincidence that we lost because Jimmy Butler didn't have a good game. I feel like those are very, very correlated. And it's very concerning to me that this team needs Jimmy to have a good game, a really good game, in order for them to win. If Jimmy does not show up, if he does not play aggressive, if he does not play like the typical Jimmy Butler, this team crumbles. They collapse. Nikola Jokic tonight had 12 points, y'all. He arguably had a worse game than Jimmy Butler out there. Their team comfortably still won this game. You know what that tells me? That just tells me how much better of a supporting cast they have than we do. The other guys on this team, if Jimmy is not playing well, we might as well not even watch this game. Because I will struggle to find one game where Jimmy has struggled in and this team has been able to save him and pull it out. Because that's what good teams do. When your star player has a bad game, they come out and they win that game. The Boston Celtics against the Phoenix Suns. Jason Tatum was struggling. Look at what he said. Man, I'm lucky to have some great teammates because I stunk it up tonight. That's what he said in the interview. I wish we had that supporting cast around this man. It's like if Jimmy is not having a good game, like, we just don't have a guy like, oh, we're going to give the ball to you and you're just going to be able to save us because our best player is struggling. It's like no one knows what to do when he's not having a good game. Everyone is just so used to him just saving us that whenever he's having a bad game, it's like, what do we do? What do we do? We're panicking. And that's where I think we miss Tyler. Not saying Tyler is, an elite scorer or anything like that, but Tyler will definitely help. But that's where, and when going back to the offseason, getting a guy like Dame would have definitely help take the pressure off of Jimmy. Like, okay, he doesn't need to be aggressive every single night. Like, he can take a couple of games here, there. You can take him off because, bro, he's 35 years old. If he plays at the rate which we want him to play every single night, by the time we get to the playoffs, he's gonna be burnt out. So he has to do this where he like takes games off and he isn't aggressive and he doesn't exert as much energy, just to make sure that when we get to the playoffs, he will have that energy saved up. That is why sometimes he's just not as aggressive. That is the reason. It's not because he can't. Like, I truly don't believe that, like, he just can't. He's lost a step or teams are figuring. I don't think any of that is true. I literally think it's because he realizes that, bro, if I go 100% every game, I won't be able to do this in the playoffs. Like, I won't have the legs. And that is the sad part. Like, bro, we need to have this man have mediocre to bad games in the regular season. Hope that this team can get hot from three and pull the game out. And then in the playoffs, we are turning to you, be like, listen, bro, we got you to the playoffs. Now you take us to the promised land. That is what the recipe of this team has been. And it's not going to work. It's not going to work because that's not sustainable. Like I said, he's aging. He's 35. You know, he's not young anymore. You can't, you know, you got to help him out when he's having a bad game. Like, I think it's very, very scary that this team is just so reliant on him. Like, even if he has a bad game, we just don't have any other guy who's going to be like, okay, give me the ball. I'll you know what? Like, he's not having a good game. You know what? I'm going to go win this game for my team. We don't have that. Bam is supposed to be our number two. Bam is not a number two, bro. Bam is not a number two. He's being forced to be a number two because who else is going to be the number two on this team? Tyler's not at that level yet. You know, he's on and off with his scoring. He can't create his own shot. Consistently. His handle and all that isn't tight enough. Terry is coming in here not wanting to step on toes. Like, we don't have a guy who's gonna be like, you know what? Just give me the ball, man. Like, if Jimmy's not having a good game, I'm gonna go out and save us. Like, we don't have that. We don't have that guy, and we haven't had that guy in a long time. Like, since Jimmy was on this team, I think the last guy we had was Goran in the bubble, and that's when Jimmy like was actually able to take some games off in the bubble. And then when we most needed him in the clutch, in the finals, he was able to just, you know, use all that energy and just go off. And we just, since Goran got injured and he got traded, we just haven't been able to replace that. So that's very, very concerning to me, that how reliant this team is on Jimmy to have a good aggressive game. And some people be like, oh, we should, like, he's our best player, and I understand that, but I'm saying, like, you're not gonna have a guy, like, very few players will have good games all 82, like, especially guys who are 35. Like, the only exception is LeBron, because he's LeBron. Like, but besides LeBron, like, I haven't seen a guy like as old as Jimmy Butler who consistently has to like go out there and put up 25 to 30 a night for his team to win. So that just shows you how poor our supporting cast is, and either it's Jimmy or it's the threes, man. Like, if both of them are not falling, it's tough. It's tough. If Jimmy's not having a good game and the threes are not falling, it's tough. If one of the two is happening, it's still winnable, but it's still tough. So this team is flawed. It's not as perfect as we thought it was. And last but not least, Delon Wright. I don't know what you did to Spo, bro. I feel so bad for you just sitting on the bench. Definitely could have used you tonight and last night and the night before. But if Patty Mills' threes are not falling, he is very hard to watch. I like the signing a little bit. I said we should have gone for size, and I really do emphasize that right now. But he only looks good when his shots are falling, man. If his shots are not falling, it's tough with him. Delon's defense is needed. His versatility is needed. His playmaking experience and all that is needed. Rebounding, all that can help this team. But for some reason, I don't know why Spo doesn't want to play him. But I guess we just have to, you know, just wait and see if Delon gets more minutes. Yeah, man. I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. Denver's just a really good team, but there's a lot of issues that we've been seeing with this team over these past couple games that have not just been in tonight's game. Like, we saw this same stuff against Washington, against OKC, against Dallas. So hopefully they clean it up. Next game against Detroit should win, but we never know. We'll see what happens, man. And yeah, I'll catch you later. As always, have a nice day. Peace.